you've gotten to that point, huh? You're in the process of planning your Disney World vacation, but starting to become overwhelmed by all of the things you have to consider, such as where to stay, how to get there, dining reservations, and what the heck is Genie Plus? Before you think about completely throwing in the towel, I want you to know you can absolutely plan your own Disney World vacation. And as an annual pass holder, I have some insider scoops I want to share with you. So here are 5 tips to help simplify your Disney World vacation planning and help set your trip up for success. First tip I have for you for Disney vacation planning: if you're in the beginning stages of planning your visit, take a look at the best time to visit. In a lot of ways, the time that you decide to actually go and visit Disney World can have a huge impact on the planning process of your trip. For one, if you're trying to visit Disney World when it's not as busy, the time that you decide to go can have a huge impact on what the crowd is going to look like. If you're thinking of visiting during the holidays, a holiday weekend, or during the summertime, generally that's the busiest time that you can actually visit Disney World, so you can expect the crowds to be a little bit more intense. But if you're wanting to go and maximize your time on rides and not have to worry about a ton of crowds, usually the fall season is a good time to go down. This is because usually people are getting done with their summer vacations, kids are getting back into school. Not only that, the price of your trip is going to depend on when you decide to actually go to Disney World. During the busier times, that's when tickets, park tickets, or lodging is going to be more expensive. But if you visit during less busier times, you can expect your tickets to be less expensive, and most likely you'll be able to find a lot more deals and discounts for lodging or for Disney packages in general. Of course, we know Disney World is in Florida, and the weather can vary depending on the time of year that you go to Disney World. If you're not wanting to go when it is super hot like the summertime, that is not a time you're going to want to visit. You might want to go during the holidays or during the winter months in Florida whenever the weather is a little bit cooler. I know I keep talking about going to Disney World during the fall, but that's usually my favorite time to go down because crowds aren't as heavy. The weather's usually a little bit cooler coming out of the summer months. And of course it's cheaper, which is all the win-win. So these are all things to consider whenever you're actually choosing your dates to go down to Disney World. We started talking a little bit about price, but the second thing you want to consider going to Disney World or planning a Disney vacation is setting up a budget for your trip. I know, nobody likes to talk about the money sides of Disney, but I do really recommend having a budget going into your trip in setting aside or figuring out how much you actually want to spend for this visit. Travel costs, park tickets, lodging, and food can really start to add up very quickly. Not to mention the cost of merch can really sneak up on you. So if you know you have a budget in mind or how much you want to spend when going to Disney World, this will give you good guidance when choosing where to stay, what parks to do, or how much you want to spend on merch going into your visit, so that way you can stay on track. If this is something that you struggle with or you really want to stick to that Disney budget, what I'd recommend is purchasing Disney gift cards. This is a really good way to keep you on track with your budget or help you to figure out how much you are spending for your trip. And you can also get discounted Disney gift cards at select places like Sam's Club or Target, so that can help you save some money on your visit. I know a lot of people will use Disney gift cards to pay for their hotels, their park tickets, and this is another way to keep you on track whenever you are eating food inside of the parks or spending money on merch, because merch adds up so quickly. So take all of this into consideration when setting a budget to go to Disney World. So that way you don't get back from your visit and have a huge sticker shock by realizing how much you actually spent. There are some ways that you can save money going into your trip or actually going to Disney World. You don't necessarily have to stay on property. There are some off-property hotels or Airbnbs that you can stay at to help save you some money that way. And you can also have groceries delivered to your resort or your hotel to help save money for food. The third tip I have is going to be such a helpful tool when you are planning your Disney vacation and actually at Disney World, and this is to download the My Disney Experience app on your mobile device. Disney World actually has their own app, which is so handy, and not a lot of people know about it going into their visit. The amount of times that I've seen park guests not know about this app or not even know that it is an option has been way too many. When going to Disney World, you're going to have to set up an account with Disney anyway, especially if you are purchasing tickets or staying at a Disney resort. You might as well have the app anyway. This is something easy you can download on your phone, and there's a lot of helpful tools inside of the app that are going to help you throughout your visit. This is going to be a good way to help you look at wait times for certain rides during your trip, so that way you can decide what rides you want to do and maximize your time in the park. Not only that, they have maps for each of the parks inside of the app, so if you don't quite know how to navigate the park, this is going to be a helpful lifesaver for you. I'm all about maximizing and saving time inside of the parks, and if you're looking to eat inside of the park, there are a lot of quick service restaurants where you can actually mobile order your food and pick it up very quickly instead of waiting in line and ordering. You can also make dining reservations if if you're wanting to eat at a sit-down restaurant in the parks, at Disney Springs, or at some of the Disney resorts. And we talked about Genie Plus earlier. If this is something that you want to use during your visit, that's going to be all inside of the app and something that you're going to have to use anyway. So don't go to the park without the My Disney Experience app. I recommend downloading this ahead of time, and whenever you are planning out your visit, learn to familiarize yourself with the app, go in and actually play around with it, figure out where all of the different features are and how to find certain things within the app. So that way when you're at the parks, you can just hit the ground running and know how to use it right away. Fourth tip in your planning process, if you're thinking of doing park days at Disney World, is to create a strategy for every Disney park you're going to. Of course, you can just go to the parks with no plan, but I always like going into my park day having an idea of what I want to accomplish and what things I want to see and do, so I can absolutely maximize my time. Your park days can go by so quickly, and there's a lot of wasted time that you can spend in your day if you don't have a plan laid out ahead of time. I know it sounds intimidating, but honestly, being proactive and planning out your day or your actual visit will help pay off in the end. Here are some tips for you. If you are planning on going by yourself or with a party, I recommend coming up with a list of at least 3 rides that you absolutely want to do at each of the Disney parks. I recommend doing this because if there's something you really want to do in the Disney parks, you don't want to end the night figuring out that you weren't able to do it. So coming up with a list of your top 3 attractions will help to plan out your day and figure out what you actually want to do. Not only that, if you've never been to Disney World before, or if it's been a while since you visited the parks, I recommend researching each park that you're planning on going to, figure out what rides they have, what are the most popular rides, what shows do they have any characters or parades that you can see, figure out everything that there is to see and do at the park so that way you can hop into your day and go ahead and check it out. Also get on board with your entire party and figure out how they want to do their park days as well. I know that I am personally a rope dropper. I like to get to the park right when it opens to maximize my day and then leave at the end of the night after fireworks. I always recommend looking on the My Disney Experience app or on the Disney World website to see what time the park actually opens. And if you're staying at a Disney World resort at this time, you do get a 30-minute early entry window where you can go in and maximize your time in the morning before regular park guests get in. The morning is going to be your best friend when visiting the Disney parks because it's usually a lighter crowd during that time. And for this reason, I recommend looking up the most popular rides at each of the parks and maybe hitting those in the morning. So that way you can avoid long wait times later on in the day. So come up with a strategy for the parks you're deciding to go to. I always get asked what are some must-do rides or attractions or experiences at each of the 4 Disney World parks, and I'll link a video to each park below where you can see what some of my must-dos are for each of the Disney parks. Fifth and final thing you want to consider planning a Disney World vacation are some essentials you're going to want to pack and bring with you for your trip. Packing some essentials are honestly going to save you in the long run. They're going to help save you time, help save you money, and help save your comfort, if that makes sense. Of course, we know if you go to Disney World, everything is a little bit more expensive because they add that Disney tax onto everything. So for that reason, I recommend going into your visit thinking about some things that you would like to have in the parks. What's something that you would not want to go to the park without or would not want to do your day without? Come up with that and add that to your essentials packing list and bring it with you on your visit. This is going to be nice to have on hand whenever you are actually in the parks. It's going to help save you time so you don't have to go buy it in the Disney gift shops, and it's going to help save you money because it will be more expensive undoubtedly whenever you go to Disney World. You want to stay comfortable whenever you're in the park, especially if you're visiting during a hot or a rainy season at Disney World. So to keep you comfortable, some of these essentials can help you along the way. Disney World packing essentials are an entire different topic in itself, and that's why I'm going to link a video here discussing 10 things that nobody talks about bringing to Disney World that you may want to consider for your upcoming Disney trip. Remember, you totally got this when planning your Disney World vacation. Feel free to add any questions to the comments below and I'd be happy to make a video or answer any questions that you may have. I hope you have an amazing visit to Disney World, and with that, we'll see you in the next video. See you guys.